Hello, everybody, wherever you might be, right around the nation. What a weekend. Hashtag NBL Overtime to get involved. I'm not going to waste any more time. Let's get into it. Homicide in the house. What up, man?
Bryce Cotton is what's up. Vic Law is what's up. Perth Wildcats got it going on. What a game.
They did.
What a game.
I'm dishevelled. You, me, gays. I couldn't sleep till 2 a.m. It was remarkable.
Fantastic game, man. Look, let's just get into it.
The huddle. Studs and duds.
He's back.
Power rankings.
He is back.
Of course, he is back. We speak of Santa's always watching. Liam, Santa Maria, man, it's great to have you back. We missed you.
Thanks, man. It's great to be back. Rough couple of weeks, but I tell you, what an incredible round of basketball. You just spoke about it. Shout out Peter Hawley. Held it down for a few weeks. Much love to him. And Indigenous round. Those two rounds now in the books. They were sensational. But you're right. I sat on the couch last night and just enjoyed a spectacular game of basketball.
I don't know where to start. So let's just roll the highlights and see what happens. Vic Law did his thing from the opening tip. Bryce Cotton ended it. We'll get to that surely. Hugo Besson's third quarter was great. Yanni Wetzel doesn't even ease back in after a little injury layoff. He just goes bang, bang, and just bullied the Wildcats inside. It had everything, Liam. You were on the couch. Your thoughts?
Game of the season. No doubt about it. Just a spectacular display of NBL talent doing incredible things. Vic Law was brilliant. 39 points, was unstoppable, barely missed all night long. And then thank the Lord for Hugo Besson, because things were going pear-shaped for the Breakers, and this young, exciting draft prospect went nuclear in that third quarter. Look at him put the moves on Jesse Wagstaff right here.
Wow.
Cannot watch that enough times. And he dragged the New Zealand Breakers right back in this thing. And then, of course, it went down the wire and Bryce Cotton did Bryce Cotton things. Spectacular game, and hats off to both teams, especially the Wildcats. 14th straight road game, the end of 3 in a row in this round, and in all the big moments, they came up trumps.
It is a little disappointing that there was no one in the stands. And I understand the circumstance, and it's the world we've had to really be agile with the last couple of years. And traditionally in sport, when something amazing happens, like 10 years, 20 years down the track, like 4 million people say, they swear back black and blue over there. It can't happen about this one. I hope you all enjoyed it at home. I know you enjoyed it, Homicide, with me and Bryce Cotton, man. Say whatever you want to say.
I got a couple of things.
Here we go.
About a week or two ago, Vic Law struggled versus Jack White. Jack White locked him up, and they lost. He underperformed. The game before that, they lost against Sydney King. Xavier Cooks locked them up. And I went on Instagram and shouted him out and tagged him. And we went back and forth a little bit. He didn't like what I said, right? Ever since then, it was 5 games. He averaged 24 and 12, and then came into this and gave him a 40-piece. He's NBA ready. The biggest thing was, is he good enough not only to bounce back, but will he make first team All-NBL? Those questions are off the table. He 100% will be first team All-NBL. Vic Law is a flat-out stud. Now over to the great one.
Before you get to Cotton, just on this.
Right.
I have never seen somebody be able to get to their spot as easy as Vic Law can. He gets to whatever spot he wants to get to, and that mid-range jump shot, and Gage tried to talk analytics last night and a three-point shot compared to what Vic Law is doing. But his ability, Liam, and Homicide, to get to wherever he wants, and it was on perfect display when Scott Morrison called the play to force overtime. He catches it, he takes a couple of dribbles, and has a relatively, for his ability, a relatively easy little
shot.
10-foot fadeaway to force free basketball. His ability to do it, and I know it's harder than it looks, but he makes it look so effortlessly.
Listen, Vic Law is a pro. So pros know how to be efficient when they get the ball, especially in clutch moments. He was feeling it the whole game. It was effortless for him the whole game. So one-on-one in my sweet spot, I'm getting the ball, turn around mid-range bucket. Let's go 5 more minutes. And Bryce, it's your turn. Over to you, my guy. Listen, I don't get... Look, there's my camera. Let's be clear. I don't care who says what. Is this the highest standard the league's ever been?
No doubt.
Who's the benchmark?
Bryce.
Okay. Any import come in here, I don't care what position. Who's the benchmark? Bryce Cotton. How can you continuously be better and the league is continuously getting better? This league has global respect You killing this league, you're not just going to the NBA, you're playing. You know what I mean? You're playing. And he's head and shoulders still the best? How is he not the best import ever? I don't understand how if the league's the best it's ever been. How is he not the best? Let me do these numbers again, just for those who may want to forget what's going on. What is it, season 6 or season 5?
6.
Okay. 3-time MVP, 2-time grand final MVP, 3-time champion, 4-time NBL all-first team, and he's the NBL Cup winner. And he's still killing. What did he have last night? 29, 9. I'm sorry. 31. I'm so sorry.
32, was it?
32, 9, and 8 assists. This guy, for sure, whoever want to argue, I'm not even arguing anymore. There's no argument. The best import to ever play down under. Take that to the bank.
Shout out to the NBL Cup that you'd fitted onto the CV. I really like that. I love that. Is he the MVP of this season?
Man, there's 9 home games left.
Hold on, because I want to argue.
Let's do it.
Because I don't think it's just done. It's black and white. It's over. He's the best import ever.
Who do you got?
I think it's on a knife's edge right now.
Okay.
All right. Now the question of who you got is moot because there's Leroy and there's not, and that's where the conversation starts and ends. It's Leroy and Bryce.
Could Leroy kill in this league right now?
That's a different conversation, right?
Why?
Because Leroy was when he was.
Okay.
And you can't hold that against him.
Shout out to Leroy Loggins, the OG, no doubt.
Same number of titles.
Okay.
Same number of MVPs.
Right.
Leroy has 1 grand final MVP. He should have 3.
Okay.
For 4 years, the league didn't hand out grand final MVP. Inexplicably, we went back and had a look. He should have 3.
Bryce Cotton should have 4 MVPs.
We pushed for retrospective
Bryce
MVPs
Cotton should have 4
grand
MVPs.
final.
In 1982 grand final,
He should have 4 league MVPs.
in 1982 grand final, Leroy had 32. Was the grand final MVP? Didn't get it.
Okay.
In 1985, he had 41. Should have got it.
Okay.
They didn't hand it out. So that's 3 grand final MVPs.
Fine.
Couple of defensive player of the year. Bryce's 4 All-NBL first team.
Right.
It's going to be 5.
Right.
Leroy's 9.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm just saying it's right there. Now,
Right.
Cotton wins this year, wins another MVP. He's got more titles, more MVPs. I'm not even going to argue it at that point.
Okay.
I'm just saying right now, Leap and Leroy Loggins, they're right there together.
Okay.
Okay.
Is he the MVP?
Yes.
Joe Luala-Chul
Come on,
Jr.
man.
is still the first best team. Look, we cannot forget what Joe Luala-Chul has done in absence of Jock Landale, who was the man, to take that void. And it's almost like we're not even talking about Jock Landale. That's because, respectfully, that's because of the great job Joe Luala-Chul Jr. has done. If the league stopped today, for me, JLA Jr. is MVP of the league.
Doesn't always work this way. I would argue he's...
Hold on, Liam has a...
Okay.
Go ahead, Liam.
I think you've got voter fatigue on Bryce Cotton. I think you appreciate his greatness from an historical perspective. You're not appreciating him just in terms of this year. Joe Luala-Chul, most improved player, I'm not going to argue with that at all. Top 3 MVP, absolutely. But this reminds me of when you said Scott Machado was MVP, when in fact Bryce Cotton was.
Scott could have won MVP.
And if we went back and that wasn't Bryce, we would think, well, he got robbed that year, like you think he got robbed by Andrew Bogut.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Luala-Chul's been terrific, 17 and 9, leads the league in block shots. Bryce is once again the league leading scorer, 23 a game, 4 assists, a couple of steals a game. He's the only guy of all those MVP contenders averaging less than 2 turnovers. His efficiency is unbelievable. His ability to come up down the stretch, incredible.
Look, incredible. That stamped and tripled down what I was saying for him to hit. In that game at one point, he was playing bad. He was 3 of 11. And then all of a sudden, whack, 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 whack. And it was like 30. Yeah. And the game winning and 1-3. Oh, my God.
And you and Gazy spoke about this last night on the broadcast.
Goodness.
His ability to adapt and allow the game to come to him as a superstar. And this happens in any league around the world. His ability to be like, all right, Vic Law's doing his thing. And we spoke about this at the start of the year when Vic Law was going nuts early. Bryce Cotton's ability to check his ego, which hasn't really been ever a concern, to be fair, and be like, I'll just ease into this game. We've got Vic Law who's cooking. This is how we play our game. We're in this. And all of a sudden, that last 5 minutes, you could argue they didn't probably defend him all that well when he started to get into rhythm, but it's also, he's almost unguardable. Gazy and I had this conversation last night, and I said, yeah, it's well and good to throw something a little different towards him. Yeah. But he's proven for the last 6 seasons, it doesn't matter what you throw at him, he's able to do last night what he did.
The beautiful thing with Cotton is, right, so if you go, okay, we're going to help hard, we're going to show hard, and then we're going to recover. Well, Mitch Norton has 26 points because Bryce is so unselfish.
Right.
If you go, we're going to switch, well, he'll dance and step back and he'll give you 32 and he'll win. He will find whatever way he needs to win the game. And the beautiful thing about this MVP conversation is, I mean, there's 4 guys right there.
Yeah, there is.
You can make a solid argument for Jalen Adams. Of course you can. The Kings are incredible with him on the floor, 21-5. You can make a solid argument for Mitch Creek. The fact that Vic Law can't even get in the conversation with what he's been doing, it's a beautiful thing. And while we watch the race for the playoffs down the stretch, the race for the MVP is going to be hot as well.
All right, I tweeted on Sunday. I was at the Throwdown. And it was the best NBL game I've been to live for a number of years. And I meant that as a regular season game. Anytime anyone goes to a grand final series, which we've been lucky enough to be in the building, of course, Homicide's phone died when the Wildcats got it in Melbourne a couple of years ago. But it was the best game I've seen live in a regular season for a long time. It was outstanding. Had it all. What's your wash-up of this, where Southeast Melbourne Phoenix had United on the ropes for 3.5 quarters and, be honest, pissed away a double-digit lead in the last 8 minutes?
2 takeaways. One is that Melbourne, along with Perth, remain the benchmark. And just like the Wildcats will find a way to win, I've said it from the very start of this season. This was a beautiful matchup, Joe G and JLA. We can talk about that. But from the very start of the season, I said, this Melbourne United team have a gear that they can go to defensively that no other team can get to, and that's what they did. Yes, Chris Goulding lit it up down the stretch, 13 of his 16 points in the fourth quarter. Hook Porty had a big game himself, but they took the Phoenix out of their stuff in that final quarter as they marched over the top. So that's the one takeaway for me, is that Melbourne United, the defending champs, the best defensive team in the league, they, along with the Wildcats, who have the best offense in the league, remain the benchmark, and the Phoenix and even the Kings are a step off all of that. And the other takeaway is that the Phoenix, as we know, are having trouble. They are like a teenage me. They can't close.
Also early 20s as well, Liam, if I recall correctly. Well, do they still... We spoke about this and Pete Hawley raised it a lot, and we're going to get to the Mitch Creek situation in a moment. He wasn't there in the last 50-odd seconds. But do they play enough through him in critical moments?
No. They need to play through Xavier Mumford and Mitch Creek, with a little bit of Joe Cheese becoming a target down low as well, and they need to involve that as well. The ball needs to be in those guys' hands down the stretch. And in that game on Sunday, that's what they tried to do. Melbourne United took it away from them. That's what they tried to do against Illawarra. The Hawks took it away from them. They need to get better at getting to where they want to go.
Chris Goulding came up huge in that fourth. I'm nervous for the Phoenix. There's a huge game coming up this round. The win of that game and get the 4th spot, because Illawarra right now, I don't believe in. I've been off of that train, and the Phoenix are looking real shaky. The win of that game is going to get the 4th spot, and hopefully the Phoenix can figure it out. Illawarra can figure it out, but those 2 teams are too shaky for me.
It's funny you mentioned the Chris Goulding. Really, the moment where he just
Deli in the corner for the 3.
But this is JLA is their best player in the season. I'm not arguing that, but I'll argue that Dellavedova and CG are more value going into the playoffs. If those guys play well, and Dellavedova's been amazing, and we've raised it a couple of times.
Yeah.
I think he's been understated from the moment he signed the deal, and that's a credit to the league. His year. And I know you called him the best defensive player last night on the awards, and that's starting to really gain some momentum. But just big moments, you need players to stand up. Bryce Cotton proved it. Chris Goulding's proved it in the past as well. Jalen Adams is going to have to try and prove it come a playoff series.
Oh, he's proven it.
Well, he's going to...
He's going to continue it.
I expect him to prove it.
Yeah.
But to stand up and have the gumption. Like Chris Goulding, he didn't have a good first 3 quarters.
Oh, he doesn't care.
Right?
Yeah,
he doesn't care.
No,
he doesn't care. And there's very few players in the league that have that, and that's my question around Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. Do they have that dog who may not have played good in the first 3 quarters, who's going to stand up and close out games? And so far...
Shaky. Haven't seen it. Shaky.
Exactly.
I haven't seen it consistently.
And a little bit last year in Game 3. They had nearly a 20-point lead in Game 3. It's a little bit different, I grant. But they were in a dogfight in the fourth quarter, and United stood up and got it done.
Yep.
And it's been the question mark over them. Extremely talented. I think they'll make the 4. I still think Illawarra will miss. But to win a championship, they need to work it out.
It needs to be Xavier Mumford. Now, he's not a point guard. The idea we're bringing him in was that he could play the point and then slide to the 2. Well, he's not really playing a lot of point guard. They need to make a mindset shift and say, we got to treat Xavier Mumford a little bit like our Bryce Cotton or our Chris Goulding. So in big moments, he may not be initiating the offense, but we've got to go through him.
Agreed.
Then we involve Mitch Creek. Mitch Creek pick and roll. You got Joe Chi at the dunker spot underneath, and then you got to go to that possession after possession. A little bit too much Isaiah Liafa in crunch time. A little bit too much Ruben Tarangi. It's got to go through Xavier Mumford, and because the Phoenix, they got there towards the end of last year with Kiefer Sykes and Mitch Creek. He couldn't make those shots in that game 3 to close it out. But that's where they need to get to, I think.
All right, Mitch Creek. It, in my mind, didn't make any difference to the result. He had an unsportsmanlike and Shea Illy, and then Daly then hit the big 3. We're all tied up. The John's going nuts, and then he steps on the end line. Here is the footage of the tech foul that led to his ejection as per the rules. I know Liam Santamaria's got some thoughts on it as we roll the action, because he did step as he was trying to stop the inbound. We're into the last 60 seconds.
What happened.
Yeah, we do.
He stepped on the line, and Chris Redd called the technical. In the moment, I thought, don't call that. We need the official to have a bit more of a feel for the game. And in that moment, he's the only guy in the arena who saw it. Don't call it. And then I sat back and I thought about it. I said, you got to call it. That's the rule. And we don't want the officials starting to think, how should I decide this game? What should I let? Just call the rules as they are. What I want to see, though, this is the second time this year a star of the league has been ejected for having an unsportsmanlike and a tech. Got to get rid of that rule. 2 unsportsmanlikes, you go. 2 techs, you go. 1 of each, I think you stay on the floor.
I think I agree. It has to be called, because if we start to allow the referees to interpret based on their own feelings and who the player might be or not be or where the game is, that's when the inconsistencies creep in, and that's all everyone wants. The players more often than anyone, coaches as well, but us as fans sitting here want to see consistency when it comes to refereeing. But to be ejected on to, well, at least one non-basketball play, it's not a thuggery situation. It's not one that overstepped the line, pun intended. It's one that he crept his little feet or his big foot. It has to be called, but player shouldn't be ejected. It was Xavier Cooks, wasn't it? In Brisbane.
Yeah.
That changed the game.
Yeah, they
for
lost.
A situation that really didn't warrant him to be sitting in or having a shower halfway through the second quarter. So I agree. Got to tweak it just a little bit.
And we can tweak it, right? Like we're at FIBA rules.
We can do whatever we want.
Exactly.
All right, let's get to your boys. Now, you were on the Illawarra bandwagon at some point. You jumped off it. Are you the official, the unofficial #1 ticket holder of the JackJumpers?
I am that. And
which one are you? Official or unofficial?
Both.
Either way, they are so fun to watch. We have spoken about how hard they play. We'll get to Scott Roth in a moment. They had an opportunity here. They had a home game to take on Illawarra and go, you know what? If we want to really make some noise, let's beat the team who's directly above us on the ladder. And they were brilliant. And not just brilliant, they just pounded them homicide.
Yeah, they did, but we're seeing footage right now against Cairns. They went over to Cairns and handled business. But this win right here versus Illawarra, I had a chance to call the game when they played in Illawarra, and, you know, they're all saying they made 22 threes. They're not going to shoot like that again. So this would have been a revenge game for Illawarra heading to Tassie to show that they were just lucky that day hitting those threes. Let's come down here and handle business and try to solidify our top 4 spot, like the 4th spot going in. And that didn't happen. This team is a tough beat. You're not just going to, they're not laying down.
No,
Look how great they're playing. And this is a team that I had considered to win a championship, Illawarra. They beat them in Illawarra. They beat them right here. They shot the ball well. Jack McVeigh, 19 points. Majette, 11, 6, and 7. Defensively, they got it done. And to be honest with you, this game wasn't close. Down the stretch, it got close, but they were in full control of this game for the majority of the game. And there's no Will Magnay.
Oh, no.
There's no Will Magnay. Scott, that's why I said Scott Roth is coach of the year. What is this? Win number 11?
10.
Win number 10. How impressive is this organization and the way that they're going about it? You got guys, what I like about it is that you have guys that were never playing in star roles. These are role players. These are all role players on teams throughout their career who now have opportunities to do their thing and shine, and they're stepping up as best as they can. Without Will Magnay, they're still finding ways to beat legitimate title contenders. That is so impressive.
Play a little Scott Roth, because the passion is contagious. We've spoken about, if you are a team that a lot of people thought, myself included, were just lacking for a little bit of talent coming in, if you play hard, if you're passionate, if you're emotive, and you get the entire state of Tasmania behind you, it's somewhere that's going to be packed out week in, week out. And then they're adding wins on top of that. This is great to see.
So
it's
good.
fun to watch. And his ability, Liam, his ability to be able to have all those players, Homicide, as you mentioned, not exactly superstars going in, but they all have the confidence bestowed on them by that bloke to play at the highest level and take the big shot. It's so cool to watch.
It is so good to watch. And it's a beautiful thing from watching the team play, but watching, as you say, talk about what the job Scott Roth's done. I mean, this is almost like the perfect coaching performance. That's why he's Coach of the Year. We'll talk about that in a minute. But Corey, you said at the start, towards the start of the year, that they were going to win 14 games.
You did.
I'm not going to speak for Cam. I laughed at you. I thought that was ridiculous. Now, we get some right, we get some wrong. They might not win 14 games, but the fact that they're 10-9 at this point, you had the belief in what they could do. And people down in Tassie, don't get me mistaken. Don't get me mistaken.
Right.
You had him on the bottom of the power rankings about a week ago.
I had him 9th. I have underestimated this team, but I love them. I absolutely... People who have listened to me over the years know what I love about the game, and they are emblematic of all of that. So kudos to the JackJumpers. Keep on marching.
We are running short of time, so I want to ask an early yes or no. Scott Roth is Coach of the Year?
I think so.
Yes.
Done. Let's get to the power rankings where, funnily enough, 2 weeks ago, not Homicide, Liam had them last or second last. Where'd you have them? 9th. All right, let's have a look at this. Sydney maintained their spot, 7-game win streak. They continue to do what they do. Perth to the top of the power rankings. United slip after the Wildcats got hold of them last week. The JackJumpers on the march. The Phoenix and the Hawks. What do you make of it?
Man, I like what I see. Everything is where it needs to be right now.
Big drop for Melbourne United. One loss there from top spot, but I couldn't have them over the Kings. Kings are on a 7-game win streak.
7-game win streak.
How am I going to drop them?
You can't. And the run that the Kings have, they have the easiest run home.
Yeah,
this
Perth
thing
got
gonna heat
9
up.
home games as well. I see what you're saying, but I think they're both going to get equal momentum leading towards the playoffs.
Yeah.
I see New Zealand have bumped up a little bit as well, and I think we need to give a shout out to Hugo Besson.
Well, we do. Yanni Wetzel's back.
Ooh,
that's the huge difference.
Yanni Wetzel's
right?
back.
I wrote last week they were not going to win any games without Yanni Wetzel on the floor. But this guy, we've enjoyed the Usman Dieng show over the last couple of weeks. Hugo Besson this week. Let's not forget what he did in Adelaide.
17.
I mean, Payne Siva was terrific in this game. Besson took away the Foot Locker player of the game because, you're right, he put 17 on the board, huge plays, putting his skill set on display. And then, oh my goodness.
Man.
Corey, I'm going to let you come in because you were calling that game last night. What he did in this third period was incredible.
It was beautiful to watch. I just sat back because as great of a shooting display he put on in the third, I just wanted Andrew Gaze to keep saying his name and say things in French.
Sacre bleu.
But it was beautiful. Again, earlier in this season, remember when he went on a run and had a couple of 20-point games? I had mentioned he reminded me of a young French player. When I played in the French league, his name was Nando De Colo. He's a gun. This is who he reminds me of. He has that type of ability on offense. He has all the confidence in the world. And when he is playing like this, I said if he could continue to play like this consistently, this is a top 5 pick in the NBA. That's why I said that's how talented this guy is. Because not only is he doesn't care if he misses the first 3 shots. He's letting it go. And on top of it, he's a hard closeout, and he can put the ball on the deck, finish with both hands. He's a 20-year-old import. Like, he's legit.
Yeah.
Don't have to convince us.
He's legit, man.
Gazy
went crazy yesterday.
He did. I haven't seen him that excited since Sydney Olympics. And it was about a Frenchman. All right, let's get into our Santa's watching. Of course, the elves around the country to get involved. All thanks to Amy. Hit Santa up at Liam Santa. Take it away,
well,
Liam
you know
Santa.
where we're starting. We're starting with Darren Lucas.
Yeah.
Can't get enough of what Darren Lucas was getting done in his box. The Legends box at Melbourne. Yeah. Look at the moves. All right, then we go to Far North Queensland. The best mascot in the league. Left of your screen, Joe Blake. Keep an eye on him. Really desperately trying to get a miss. Showing a little extra, but unfortunately wasn't able to get the job done. Let's stay in Cairns, because Majuk Deng just dapping up his imaginary friends. And then, of course, let's just chime in a little bit more. Hey, second free throw.
Oh, here we go.
Steps up, knocks it down. Got to give him some love again.
The referee's got to step in
Still
there.
can't give me love.
Referee's got to step in there.
Game's on the line. Big shot. Do I breathe? Oh, boy. Oh, boy. And then, of course, there, look at And then, hey, I want to finish off with Mitch McCarron.
Brilliant.
How cool was this to see? Captain's work is never done. Shout out Ben Demetsis. I think I said that right. In fact, I think I said that wrong. But shout out Mitch McCarron. Just, you know what? He's just helping out. Doing what needs to be done. He's a solid human being. He's in a slump, Mitch McCarron, but he's a quality human being.
Well, thanks to Amy. Thank you. Let's get to JD Sports Sneaker of the Week. All thanks to JD Sports, the undisputed king of trainers. And have a look at that. CG wearing the PG6 All-Star Weekend Kicks.
Very nice.
Nice shirt.
Look at the little flutterbys.
Yes, that's very, very nice. And, of course, all thanks to JD Sports. You ready for this? Are you ready, Lee?
I'm ready.
I know you're ready.
I'm always ready.
Hit it. Hit it. Hit it.
Oh, alrighty.
Of course, the king of trainers at JD Sports, and they're launching the Air Jordan 13 Del Sol.
Look at that.
They look amazing. The Panther poured Jordan signature shoe from 97. It gets a colour update complete with the OG construction, and you must get them.
Yep.
They
How do you
launch
do it?
this Saturday, the 19th of March, online via the JD AU app. I don't know how many times I have to tell you to get that, but get it, please. Make sure you download the app today. And if you haven't done it yet, I can't help you anymore, but do it now.
Beautiful.
All right, all thanks to JD Sports. Now, a lot of tragic, crap stuff happens in this world, and unfortunately another thing happened over the course of the weekend a little closer to home. Of course, a young man who was an exceptional basketballer. He played in the NBL 1 West last year. He was about to head to the Darwin Salties. I speak of Illyriac, and unfortunately, tragically and senselessly, to be fair, lost his life on the weekend. So we, of course, although his family and friends, we send our thoughts and our prayers to the basketball community, in particular in Western Australia, the South Sudanese community, in particular in Perth, where he was such a hero to so many, to his college teammates of where he played so well in the last 5 years. And there's not much we can say about these type of things. It's so hard to make sense of it. He was a ripping young man from all reports. I didn't know him. I just knew him as a very good basketballer. And I believe from the conversations I've had in the last 12 hours, he was a much better bloke than that, and that's saying something. So our thoughts go to everyone who knew this incredible young man whose life has been taken way too soon.
It's unfortunate these senseless acts are happening more times than not than you would actually want. Again, our condolences to the family. Lead with kindness. That's what I want to say. Whether I know you or not, just lead with kindness, man, because there's so many messed up things happening all over the world. There's war, we're in a pandemic. The last 2 years, so many people have just been wiped off the earth. You know what I mean? Just lead with kindness, man. Like, we're all going through something right now. Just lead with kindness and be positive, man.
Just a moment of silence. You can always get involved with us as well if you want to reach out, hashtag NBL Overtime via the NBL socials. We're going to have to make this quick. Has a team recently reached out to you regarding a GM role into 2022 and beyond?
No.
Is Shea Ely the most underrated player in the league?
No.
Will Brian Gorgian be coaching Illawarra next year? Out of contract?
I'll say yes.
Will Tassie finish higher than Illawarra?
Yep.
In NBL 23, should New Zealand play 19 home games and only play away once in every venue outside of New Zealand? 19 and 9 would be the split.
Yes.
Would you pick Bryce Cotton over Matisse Thibault in the Boomer squad?
Yep.
We're out of here. See ya.